Hello and welcome back to JankTech. It's my series on Star Wars Unlimited with a focus on twin suns, alternate formats, nothing having to do with sweaty metas. Do we care that Force Throw was banned? No, we don't. We got an eternal format here, baby. No ban list yet. So before we get it started, I'd just like to ask y'all to please like, subscribe, like my good friend Boba Fett is going to threaten any moment now. And speaking of subscribers, oh my gosh, we've got over 500. Holy moly, thank y'all so much. I can't even express how awesome it feels to have so many people appreciating what I'm doing here, and just proving that not every bit of content with Star Wars Unlimited has to be like, this is the most powerful blah blah blah, or this is how we're going to defeat the Han 2 deck, yada, whatever. We're here for Twin Suns and the Jank. And if you want to talk to other people about Jank, just a quick shout out to these two fine Discords up above me. The swupdx Discord, a great general Pacific Northwest area Discord if you want to discuss everything related to this game, be it previews, strategies, upcoming events, so forth and so on. And then also the Nightsisters Discord. We finally voted on a logo. This one is the one we chose. I love it. I think it's super cool. This is a women's Discord. It's an awesome place if you want to have discussions not only about Star Wars Unlimited, but also pretty much anything else. And the genesis of this video that I'm about to do was actually a result of a conversation I was having with a few people on there. Shout out to Flowery Spoon, who wanted to do a list of Twin Suns staples. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. I need to do that. Let's do a video on it. That'll be fun. So if you want to check out the list she put together, feel free to visit us in the link in the description below, Nightsisters Discord. And we can see how the two of us deviated. But honestly, like, if it's a good card, it's a good card. So let's get into it. What is this video about? So these are the staple cards I think are good in any Twin Suns deck that either has villainy, heroism, or just anything. So you can see I've got villain staples, I've got hero staples, and then I've just kind of got, it just goes in anything. And I want to explain before we get it started that the leader pairings and the bases I picked are completely arbitrary. They're just ones that I like. Those don't have anything to do with the video, except I needed to pick something, and I figured using swupdx to make lists of everything would be the easiest way because I already share those links on here. I'm not going to discuss leaders or bases because I think those are obviously very situational, and I'm also not including any Sentinels in these lists. And that's because Sentinels are such a fundamental foundation of Twin Suns. I think wherever you can find room in your cost curve, and I talked about cost curves in my Twin Suns deck building for Padawans deck, wherever you can find room in your cost curve for a Sentinel, put it in. They are the most important thing to consider in deck building in this format. And the reason that they're not in here is because that's just like, it's like putting lands in Magic the Gathering. You should be putting Sentinels in wherever you can. That being said, there are a few that I wanted to spotlight just because of how incredibly good they are and how much you should be putting them in. So let's get started with the staples for the villain deck. We've got a lot of cards to talk about, so hopefully y'all will stay with me through this. I'm real excited. So what do we got in here? The First Order Stormtrooper. Oh my gosh, these guys hit above their weight so much. You get a 1 cost. It does 2 damage to whoever it attacks, and on attack and when defeated, you deal an indirect damage to a player. That's anyone, okay? So you can hit one person for 2 and hit someone else for the 1 indirect. That's great. People don't want to swing into this because that means that you can deal that indirect damage to them. This provides negotiation fodder. I think it's such a fun, cool, interactive card. And one other thing I have to mention about this list. These are the staple cards. I have a separate video coming out soon about table disruption and negotiation and general BS-ery sort of cards. And there is going to be some overlap between those, but I think the staple cards are just cards that are going to be generally good. And then there's going to be cards that you put them in because it makes everyone at the table sit up a little straighter and be like, oh, we got to take care of that. This is not that list. This is just like, what are the good the foundational elements of a Twin Suns deck. So with that disclaimer aside, let's get on with the rest of it. Aura saying Patient and Deadly. She's so good. She is a 1/4 with Hidden, so you can play her at any time and reasonably expect that she's going to live. She's got Raid 2, so she hits for 3. She is just such a solid, big-butted unit that attacks, has lots of great Underworld synergies if you're running Underworld. She's just great. What more can I say? What do you like? She does everything you want out of an uncommon. Bib Fortuna. I put this guy in so many of my decks. His ability to get you an event at a discount cannot be overstated how good that can be. He allows you to play stuff like Galactic Ambition and make it more of a reasonable card. He lets you play Overwhelming Barrage for 4. He lets you play Resupply for 2. Like, Bib is so good at supporting other parts of your deck and letting you cheat things out a turn earlier. And in Twin Suns, getting something out early can very often make a difference between winning and not winning. Dr. Pershing. So Dr. Pershing has been getting a bit of a resurgence with the LOF set. I think the Kylo Ren decks have been using him, and I think he is so important in Twin Suns for the same reasons. He lets you draw cards. He lets you go through your deck. He lets you find the things that you need. As a 0/5, you're not going to be swinging with him, but he can take quite a bit of damage from his own ability in order to draw cards. And let's face it, we are playing 80 card decks with one copy of any given card, except for Swarming Vulture Droids. Okay, I see y'all out there. So being able to go through that deck is absolutely imperative. Pershing is a turn 1 play. He can help you do that. HK47. Oh my gosh. Okay, so like, yeah, this guy is for sure going to be in my other video about disruptive cards in Twin Suns. It's a turn 1 play. When an enemy unit is defeated, deal a damage to its controller's base. This is such an outstanding turn 1 play for you to have in a villain deck. You're playing with 3 other people. So HK just says there's an excellent chance that damage is going to be thrown all around to people's bases because of him. I mean, obviously that means HK is getting targeted, but they're targeting a turn 1 2-cost unit instead of hitting your base. That sounds like a win. So yes, please. General Grievous. So Grievous is here just because he is a 4/4 for 3. He is overstated and undercosted, and we love that about him. Perhaps him being an official will matter even more when Secrets of Power comes out. But for right now, just look at him as a cool dude that does just again, like the First Order Stormtrooper, he punches above his weight class. He's cheap. He's great value for what you're paying for him. And, you know, maybe everything will line up and his lightsaber ability will actually matter. I've never seen it happen, but we got a lot more lightsabers nowadays. So who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. I just said I wasn't going to talk too much about Sentinels, but the Phase 3 Dark Trooper, oh my gosh, y'all. It's like the Cell Block Guard, but better. When combat damage is dealt to it, give an experience token to it. That's incredible. Like, this is one of those units that people don't want to let live because it is so dangerous. If you keep getting it, if you keep attacking with it and killing smaller things, it'll get bigger. If people attack into it and it doesn't die, it'll get bigger. It's just like, it's such a good Sentinel. If you have green and you have villain, this card should be in your deck pretty much all the time. For LOM, he's a 4/4 for 4 that ambushes. It's just a solid stat line. If we're looking at a stat line where the 2 numbers, where the amount of damage it deals and the size of its butt are the same number as its cost, you're already feeling like, okay, this is good. And when you can ambush it in and likely have it live, also good. He's just a very solid include. Cad Bane, okay, like we got a few top end cards that are going to surprise no one. Cad Bane always does a lot of stuff when he comes into play. At 7 resources, you should hope so. So he's got that 7/7 for 7 stat line going on, which is great. And the fact that he can capture up to 3 non-leader units when he comes in is just incredible. And those can be from different players. Cad Bane can do so much to neutralize threats on the table and reset the board. And on the 7 resource turn, that is really, really, really good. Of course, Vader, come on, like this Vader is going to be in Twin Suns decks forever. He's got ambush, he's got a big butt, and he's got his when played ability that lets you search the top 10 cards of your deck for any number of villain cards with combined cost 3 or less, play each of them for free. So you get so much here with Vader. That's probably why Vader was incredibly expensive when he was new, and why he still commands a pretty decent price now. So if you have one Vader, like, it's a great top end card in a villain deck. I don't think he is the end all be all for every single villain Twin Suns deck, but I think he's useful in most of them if you are looking to get a little bit more presence on the board, especially at the later times of the game that Vader can come out. Honestly, I think Maul is a lot of times a better choice than Vader. Also, he's a lot cheaper money-wise. He's a 7/6 with ambush and overwhelm. So if you can just overwhelm into, I don't know, like a droid token, like you're hitting somebody's base for quite a bit. His ability is fine. His like divert damage to an Underworld unit ability, but it's not really completely necessary for him. Like, you don't need to think, oh, I can't play him unless I have an Underworld. I mean, yeah, if you've got Bib Fortuna out and you swing Maul into Wrecker and then say, okay, then we ping off Bib's shield, that's awesome. But like, even saying you can get like 6 damage onto somebody's base on the 7 resource turn, like, that's super good. That is super good. So yeah, I'd say like if you don't have Vader but you've got Maul, like, don't feel bad about that. Maul's gonna do just as much work for you in the late game. Inferno 4, this is a filter card. Inferno 4 lets you see what's coming and say, I don't want that, we can do better. Or, oh, this is fantastic, great, I'll keep those on there. Remember, in Twin Suns, somebody's got to get that plan token. And like, honestly, I feel like I should defend the plan token because a lot of people don't like having to draw a card and then replace a card out of their hand to the bottom of the deck. But if you have something like Inferno 4, then you can say, okay, this is what's coming. If I know I'm going to be the one that's taking plan, then I can account for that when I put the cards back. Or, you get what I'm saying? A little bit of extra intel, always good in Twin Suns. And the fact that it happens again when this is defeated, extra good. If you have a blue villain deck, you put Inferno 4 in it. It's also just a great first turn space unit for its stats, but its ability, come on, Inferno 4, just do it. Strike Ship, oh my gosh, I love this card. A 0/3 with Raid 3 and Overwhelm. So if you can put upgrades on it, if you can put a pilot on it, it can get so big, but it's a ship that someone's going to have a hard time killing that can come out on your first turn. It's got a super cool looking illustration. What more could you want? Of course, the fact that it has Raid means that it is at a disadvantage when something attacks it, especially because it does literally nothing back in its purest form. But it's got a large enough butt to be survivable. It is something that you can do table politicking around. But and by that, I mean, you just point to the card and you're like, well, this is just a 0. It's just a little baby 0. It doesn't do anything. Don't mess with my little 0 ship. Anytime you can force people to do more work mentally is good for you in this game, in this format. So even though, yes, you can look at the card and be like, it's a 0/3 with Raid 3. That's one more step somebody has to make. That's one more thing they have to consider when they're trying to evaluate things around the table. There's an excellent chance that some players will just look at that 0 first and be like, okay, yeah, that's not a threat. That's a 0, whatever. And we want that. We want to increase the cognitive load of our opponents. Speaking of which, Lurking Tie. It's a 2/2 with Raid 2. So again, it's just a little guy. But man, that ability can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. So if you can get this in space and start piling upgrades on it, the removal in Twin Suns is not nearly as consistent as other formats. So the Lurking Tie can just become ridiculous if left unchecked until somebody rams into it with something else or plays no glory only results on it. So this is such a great card because it takes so much more to defeat it than other things. I love it. I love the Lurking Tie. It is just, it's an auto include. What can I say? Tie Dagger Vanguard. When played, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Stuff's going to be damaged all over the place. This helps you take advantage of that. You might be able to kill something. You can have negotiation fodder around the table and say, hey, if I take care of that, can you leave me alone? You can make deals with that. And not only does this act as removal, it also gets you a unit, which is like a 2-for-1 that is extremely useful in this format where every single action matters a lot. Shuttle ST-149, shielded 3/4 when played, and when defeated, you may take control of a token upgrade on a unit and attach it to a different eligible unit. So experience, shields. Yes, you can use this if there's no other options to take its own shield off and put it on something else of yours that you want shielded. But you can also take an experience from something that doesn't belong to you, put it onto one of your guys. You can negotiate around the table. You can say, hey, I can give you that person's experience, but in turn, you do this other cool thing for me. It gives you, once again, the options for negotiation, for politicking, for gaining allies. And those are the kind of little manipulations and tricks that will help you win at Twin Suns, is taking advantage of units like this that let you redistribute what sorts of things are happening around the table. I love this card so much. Oh my gosh. Also, the Prestige version is one of my favorite artworks in the game. Oh my gosh, so cool. Devastating Gunship, kind of like the TIE Vanguard. This is like a good 2-for-1 card. So it kills something that has 2 or less HP when played, and it's a 3/5 with grit in space. So you can potentially make this do a whole lot of damage and kill something at the same time. And also, like, for all you droid lovers out there, it's a droid. And we're getting more and more droid support with every spoiled card. So, you know, that could potentially be relevant. We got a whole bunch of events. A fine addition. If an enemy unit was defeated this phase, which is highly likely, play an upgrade from your hand or from any player's discard pile, ignoring its aspect penalty. That includes pilots. You have so many options in Twin Suns. Did somebody just kill a Gunji with a General's Blade? Well, guess what? Fine edition, yoink, I'm going to pay 3. I'm going to stick that General's Blade on my guy. It's just so cool. Maybe somebody is playing Mando and they're putting upgrades all over everything. Maybe somebody put Boba Fett's armor on that stupid Boba Fett leader from from Spark of Rebellion, and Boba Fett got killed because everyone was like, oh, we got to kill his Boba Fett. Then you can be like, meh, I'm going to take Boba Fett's armor. This just gives you so many fun options with all of the possible things that could be going in everyone's discard pile. I just think it's such a cool card in this format. Wartime Profiteering. This is another excellent deck filter card, kind of like Inferno 4. Look at cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of units that were defeated this phase, draw 1, and put the others on the bottom of your deck in a random order. So what if somebody exploited a whole bunch of stuff to get out a Dooku? What if somebody played a bombing run and killed a bunch of ties that the Vader player generated? You might get to look through 4, 5, 6 different cards and find the one that you need for one resource. I think that's incredible. I wouldn't play this card in a non-Twin Suns format, but in Twin Suns, I think this is such a good card. Oh my goodness. I think this is going to be even better once spies are added to the mix. So we'll have another type of token that can be brought out and then killed all at the same time, which will give you the ability to profit so much from this card. Consumed by the Dark Side. Give 2 experience tokens to a unit, then deal 2 damage to it. So it essentially will have the same amount of health, but it'll do 2 more damage. I think this is great. There's other cards that care about experience. There's other cards that care about grit for damage. So there's so many ways that you can make this work for you. Maybe you put it on a shielded unit, or maybe you just put it on somebody else's unit and just be like, okay, now you owe me one. I think there's a lot of good with this card. This is like one of one of the coolest cards from the new set, like one of the coolest commons that I think has a lot of different uses. And just being able to stack upgrades on like anything. You put this on a lurking tie, you put this on a strike ship, all of a sudden it's really big and hard to deal with. Like this lets you lane dodge a little bit more effectively. I like this card a lot. I think it's good in pretty much any villain deck. No good to me dead. Of course, no good to me dead. Like this will knock out somebody's leader for two friggin' two rounds. Like this is ridiculous. Like it's so good in Twin Suns if somebody's putting all their eggs in one basket. If someone is consuming a lurking TIE fighter by the dark side, well then it's no good to me dead. Sorry, buddy. Merciless contest. Each player chooses a non-leader unit they control to defeat those units. Like that's everyone at the table, my guy. It's so awesome. Like I love that it's like power of the dark side, but affects everyone. You know, of course, someone's got a lurking tie that's not going to work too well, but you know, most of the time you're gonna kill a whole ton of stuff, and that's gonna be awesome. No disintegrations, like this lets you deal with things that have been upgraded and upgraded and upgraded, and you're just like, oh my gosh, how are we ever gonna kill that thing? Well, no disintegration says, okay, I will no disintegrations, and the next person you run some little chump into it. Power of the dark side, it's a classic. Of course, this gets worse the longer the game goes. But this can potentially kill leaders. It can kill somebody's awful first turn play if someone's got an Avar Kriss deck and a Jedi Consular out. Power of the Dark Side gets rid of a lot of threats in this game. Or if we all pile on somebody, we can actually just completely wipe somebody's board, kill their leader if that's the only unit they have. This card's great. Of course, this is going to continue to go in decks. It's awesome. Triple Dark Raid. So good. It was banned. Oh my goodness. It lets you search through your deck. You get a vehicle. It costs way less. It comes into play ready. It's like, yeah, you got to gamble a little bit with it, but the payoffs are incredible. Being able to bring in something ready in Twin Suns is just incredible, 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 especially if you're doing it on the last round of the game when maybe somebody's already gotten defeated. Everyone else is frantically doing math. You're just like, oh my gosh, okay, triple dark raid. You got to save me here. And you can pull out something big, have it come into play ready, and not have anyone do anything about it because they don't have any ready units themselves. I love this card so much. Oh my gosh. Deathfield just does a whole lot of damage to everything. Well, not vehicles, but if you are playing without a whole lot of vehicles, this card is great. I wouldn't say this is like in the upper echelon of cards that you should include in a deck, but if you anticipate playing with a lot of non-vehicle players, then this one is awesome. Plus, there's the extra card draw if you're running Force. Remnant Reserves, again, you get to filter through your deck. You can get up to 3 units. Everybody does have to see them, but you can use one card to draw 3 cards in the best case scenario. I love that. I think this card is too expensive to be useful in other formats, but in Twin Suns, Remnant Reserves can get you a whole lot of stuff if you are hurting. No glory only results. I mentioned this earlier. It's great for killing things that otherwise are difficult to kill. If somebody has stacked a bunch of upgrades on something, if someone has a lurking tie, if someone has a Chewbacca pilot on something, well, this will kill it. This kills anything other than a leader. So it's a great card to hold on to, and 5 is a lot to spend, but it can absolutely be a game changer. Overwhelming Barrage. We know it. We love it. Overwhelming Barrage is going to be in green villain Twin Suns decks until the end of time. Being able to make something big and shoot a whole bunch of stuff is just always going to be useful. And yeah, you have green villain, you put Overwhelming Barrage into it. Come on. Palpatine's Return. Maybe someone made you discard something. Maybe you were able to sneak attack in a big force unit and then it got defeated. Maybe you just want to play the same thing a second time. Palpatine's Return gives you the flexibility of playing things from your discard, and it can potentially be super disruptive to the board because there's so few cards that let you play things from your discard. It gives you extra flexibility. Of course, if you're playing with someone like Trench or Afra, this is like, of course, you're going to have that with them. But I think as a general rule, in a game where having as many options is extremely helpful, this one gives you more options. It says we don't only have to play cards out of our hand, we can also play something out of our discard. Yeah, like ideally you get like a Snoke out of your discard or something like that. But it's not the worst thing in the world if you pay 6 to get a 6 cost unit out. So just having the flexibility there is a key part of Palpatine's Return. This card is amazing. It's like, it's not as auto-include as Overwhelming Barrage, but I think it's definitely worth running in most villain Twin Suns decks. In Debt to Crimson Dawn. Well, this one just completely screws up somebody's resource curve. Having to pay 2 to ready whatever unit this is on is just incredible. You can put this on someone's leader. It disrupts what someone else is trying to do, and it throws off all of the planning they're doing with their resources. I love this card so much, and by the same token, I also love Frozen and Carbonite. This doesn't work with leaders, of course, but it just prevents a unit from readying. It just completely nullifies something on the board. Yeah, upgrade removal will deal with this. Capture will deal with this if someone wants to be like, weird and capture their own guy. But a lot of times, like, you can just freeze something in Carbonite and it's going to sit there. Because, again, removal is not as consistent in this format. I love this card. It's just so good for buying you some time. And Craving Power. It's like a mini Overwhelming Barrage. I've mentioned this before in other videos. I wasn't so excited about this card when it first came out, but since I've been playing with it more, I've grown to appreciate that it not only bulks up whatever unit you put it on, but it gets you some removal when you play it. It's just awesome. It's so good to beef stuff up later in the game. Most of the time you're going to want this in a green villain deck. Okay, let's move on to the hero staples. Again, oh, Jin and Hunter. You guys are great, but, okay. So what do we got for our heroes? We got Alliance Dispatcher. Again, this one lets you play ahead of the curve somewhat, meaning people are probably going to kill this immediately, but if you can get away with it, if you can stick it behind a Sentinel, then getting units out a little bit earlier is going to be awesome for you. R2, Ignoring Protocol, like the Inferno 4, R2 lets you filter your deck. Say, okay, no, this card on the top, this is a 7 cost, this is turn 2, we don't need this, let's put it on the bottom. Lets you filter through your deck and get the cards that you need instead of the ones that you don't need. Soldier the 501st, it is a 1 cost, 1/3 that hits for 2. I think it's just a good solid unit considering you only spend 1 on it. So definitely good if you just need some more early game plays and you have red in your deck. Anagallia, gosh, she's so good. So 2 resources for a 2/4, so decent sized butt. We're going in the direction of bigger butts. This is a big butted world now. When an opponent plays an event, deal 1 damage to that player's base. Yeah, everyone's gonna be playing events, so she's probably gonna get targeted too. But she's gonna spread damage around a lot if people don't want to take the time to get rid of her. Because as a 2 resource play, she does a lot of annoying other people. And having people say, wait, no, I have to focus on removing Anagallia instead of hitting your base. I think that's great. Okay, Grogu. This is one of those cards. I'm like, no, we need to get rid of this little turd on sight. Oh my gosh. Grogu can exhaust anything. Leaders, space units, ground units, whatever. Grogu can completely shut down what other people are doing. I love this card. Like, I hate it when other people are running this card because it's just a constant threat of, oh, if the Grogu player has initiative, whose board state are they going to shut down? It's just great. It's such a good way to keep other people in check. It's a great way to make bargains with other people. Like, Grogu does so much to influence what happens in Twin Suns. And he's got a big butt. He is so hard to kill. Oh my gosh. Love it. Put this card in your deck if you've got Hero in yellow. Like, it's always going to be great. Loth Wolf, again, breaking my newly established rule about Sentinels. Loth Wolf is a 3/3 for 2 Sentinel. Yeah, it can't attack. Whatever. It's going to help you build up a board state. And if you are playing leaders that can put shields on it, like Luke from the first set or Kanan from the most recent one, then nobody's going to get through it on the ground. I think this is such a great card. Oh my gosh. If you are running Hero Blue, you put this in your deck. People will not be able to deal with it. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. The Luke pilot from JTL. I just love that you can run him as a pilot, and he can also become a ground unit if the thing he was on goes away. If he's specifically defeated as an upgrade, he goes to the ground. He also counts as Force and Rebel, which are 2 traits that have a lot of other synergies. This card is just so excellent. Like, again, you're going to want this in a green hero deck pretty much no matter what. R2 Full of Solutions, another deck filtering card. R2 is so good. Takes cards that you don't need, turns them into cards that you do need. And the cool thing about R2 is that nobody else gets to see what you are drawing, which is just fantastic. And I'm pretty sure he works with the new Padme's ability, actually, because she cares about discarding from hand. Sabine Wren. Okay, so we all know Sabine. We all love Sabine. We like her because she's a 2/3 for 2 that may deal a damage to the defender order based on attack. In Twin Suns, her other ability becomes way more relevant. While there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, she can't be attacked unless she becomes a Sentinel. So we are generally running 3-color decks in Twin Suns, and that doesn't include the hero aspect. So there's generally going to be 4 different aspects that you have the potential of having units with in this format. So the idea that Sabine is going to be untouchable a lot of the time is just chef's kiss. Love that. Admiral Yularen advising caution, the one from Twilight. He just makes all your heroism units have bigger butts. Bigger butts means harder to kill. Like, he is just so good. I mean, I'm used to seeing this guy in a Rex deck, you know. You know who you are. And like, the fact that he can spread the love out if you're doing a go wide strategy is really good. If you're doing like a coordinate strategy, he's really good. But like, just making your stuff slightly harder to kill is just so good. Like, Yularen, you're going to want him in most hero decks. Cassian from Shadows. So yeah, he's a 3/5 for 3, which is decent already. But if you smuggle him in, then he comes in ready. And oh my gosh, ready units in this format, like I've already said, are just the bread and butter of closing the deal. And by closing the deal, I mean when somebody is imminently going to get knocked out and you're all doing frantic base math at the end. If you can bring in a ready Cassian after everyone else has already attacked and exhausted everything they have, well, then that's 3 damage going to someone else's base. That puts you that much closer to winning. Cassian is awesome. Okay, we got Ezra from SOR. Again, Ezra is, well, he's a lot of things. So he lets you filter your deck. He's Force and Rebel Inspector. Those are all 3 super useful traits, like we said with Luke. And when he completes an attack, look at the top card of your deck. You may play it, discard it, or leave it on top. So there's a lot going on here. Like I said, you're filtering. You can get action compression. So if you've got the resources to pay for what you saw on the top. If you want to play that card, then bam, you get another card in the same action. You can discard it. So this means if you're playing a deck that cares about things being in your discards, or you just want to get rid of it because it's not going to be, that card's not right for you right now, then you can do that. Or you can leave it on top, maybe, again, in preparation for using the plan token, or maybe you have a "you're my only hope" in your hand and you can get it out for cheaper later, or you're playing with the Yoda leader. Like, there's all kinds of things that are great about Ezra. So good. He is so good. Hey, it's another Grogu. Ugh, this Grogu, they're both huge pains in the butt. Like, I feel like any card I have that reaction to means it's one worth including in a deck. Grogu's hidden. Grogu is hidden. This little jerk. You can't even swing into him the turn he comes out. And then the fact that he can heal up to 2 damage from a unit, any unit. If you do deal that much damage to a unit, any unit, you can distribute damage among any units of any players to any units from any players. This is great for making deals. Of course, you want to use this on your own guys to keep them healthy, but with 3 other people to choose from, the ability to get damage from one spot to another, to form alliances, to help clean up things on the board. It's just like there's so much that Grogu does. He is such a great Twin Suns card. I think this is just like, you just put him in hero decks at this point. Like, I don't see any reason to not put Grogu in a Twin Suns hero deck forever. Sundari Peacekeeper. It's another card that you groan when you see it. You're just like, oh man, ugh. 1/5, big butt. Raid 2, so it does a good amount of damage, and Restore 2. It's so good. Anytime, like, Restore in this format is so crucial with getting your base to a safer threshold, with maybe tanking a little bit more damage, with saying, okay, I can take a little bit more damage to my base this turn to get it set up for later. It's fine. I have Restore. Like, it's just screws up people's math. And this again is a card where people have to do extra math looking at it to be like, okay, 1/5, raid 2, hits for 2, restores 2, so this happens, then this happens. It messes with people's heads and it focuses people's attention on it and says, how do we deal with this 5 big butt? How do we deal with this? It's such a great card. You should be putting this in your hero green decks for sure. Tech, we know Tech, we love him. I still think Tech is great. He gives you the ability to smuggle anything in your resources. So it gives you those late game options. It says, okay, we can be a little bit more flexible. Tech's probably going to get killed because that's just too useful to let somebody get away with having. But like I've said before, I think Tech might even be worth putting in your villain decks still. So yeah, a very good card for this inconsistent 80 card singleton format. Village Protectors. Yeah, it's a Sentinel, but this is, again, one of those Sentinels that you should prioritize over other ones if you have to make decisions. It is a 2/2 Sentinel with a shield, meaning it's got to get attacked into at least twice to kill it, or someone needs to do some damage to it to get rid of its shield before someone else can kill it. It is such a thorn in your opponent's side to have a Sentinel with a shield. It just makes things way more difficult. It makes people less likely to attack you. Village Protectors is such a good card. Oh my gosh. You see it, you play it, you should include it. Yoda Old Master. Yoda's got the Restore, Yoda's a Force and a Jedi, and he's got the fun, when defeated, choose any number of players that each draw a card. So you can dole out favors and hope to get favors in return. You can say, oh, yes, you can have a card. You can have a card, yes, but all of you must do something for me. Yoda is another, makes interesting things happen around the table card. I ask someone every single time, whenever I play against people that run this card and Yoda gets defeated, I'm like, can I draw a card? I've gotten to draw a card once from it. Usually people don't like to do it, but I'm willing to offer favors in Twin Suns. I think trading a card for an experience, trading a card for temporary immunity, like these are all good strategies you can use with Yoda. We got Chewie here. Like, what can I say? He's like the lurking TIE Phantom of heroism. He's so hard to kill. He's a great 5/6 with a great ability if you play him on the ground. And he's a great pilot when you put him on a vehicle. It's just makes it so much harder to get rid of something that Chewie is piloting or to just get rid of Chewie himself. This is just such a fantastic card. It's definitely like a great reason to get the Han Spotlight deck if you don't already have it. And then, it's Chewie. It's everyone's favorite Wookiee. Come on. You put this in your green hero deck, you're not going to be disappointed. And speaking of Chewies that are in starter decks, Chewbacca Loyal Companion. I think he's in the Luke starter deck from SOR. 3/6 Sentinel, but when he's attacked, ready him. So this is a double disincentivization for someone to attack you if you have this Chewbacca, because he's a Sentinel with a big butt. And if you do attack into him and you don't kill him, well, then there's going to be a ready Wookiee. Yeah, he only hits back for 3, but still, that's a ready unit. And again, units being readied in this format throw off the math. They can tip the scales vastly towards whoever has them in their possession. I think that he is such a great card, especially in like that mid late game where people are getting desperate and saying, oh, we're getting really close to knocking out this one other player. Plo Koon from Twilight. He is a 3/6 ambush and coordinate gives him raid 3. So yeah, you ambush this out with his raid and you're hitting for 6 for 5 resources. He's Force Jedi Republic, all traits that have lots of synergy. He's just awesome. Like, as long as you've got that coordinate working, like Plo Koon is going to do so much good stuff for you. He's so great. Duppa Balaba, another ambush card. She's a 5/7, but she's a saboteur. So you can put that 5 damage wherever you want it. That's really, really critical at this point in the game. Yeah, obviously she's part of the Qui-Gon pre-constructed deck. She works great in that kind of setting because, yeah, then you can bring her back to your hand, ambush her out into something else. Like, she just gives you so much flexibility in that later part of the game to help take out any problem unit on the ground that you want. Guerrilla Attack Pod, again, great late game unit. It has grit. It's a 4/6 when played. If any base has 15 or more damage on it, ready this unit. This is awesome. Like, what if you're playing with someone that's running Colossus or Lake Country? Maybe somebody's running an Anakin Twilight leader. All things that say it's okay to have a little extra damage on my base. Well, this says, great, this is going to be ready then. A ready unit coming out ready is just incredible. Han Solo, Reluctant Hero, 6/6 ambush that does combat damage before the defender. Oh my gosh. So one of those late game cards that has a huge impact. Han can completely get rid of something taking no damage whatsoever. He's just, again, he's such a good card. I don't think he's necessarily a auto include in a heroism cunning deck, but he's 90%. And plus, like, this one, like, he looks kind of like Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. It's extra cool. We love this card. It's Luke. Come on. Like, every single blue heroism deck in those other unmentionable formats runs 3 of these. Luke's good. That's why Luke is going to be in your top end in blue hero. He is just pretty much always going to be good. He's got massive restore. He's likely going to kill something when he comes out. He's Force, he's Jedi, he's Rebel. This card is amazing. Hopefully once rotation happens, these will become cheaper. So if you don't have one, maybe you'll be able to get one a little bit easier. Because he's great top end in Twin Suns. I hate admitting it. He is he's great top end wherever you put him. So yeah, like you keep Luke in your hand if you're getting around to that point in the game. Cartel Turncoat. It is a 1-cost 2/3. Yeah, it's got this bounty, but remember, twin suns and bounties, people fight over them. It just stirs stuff up at the table. I think like Cartel Turncoat is really great because it might make people act a little irrationally if they're like, oh, I really want that bounty. Jedi Starfighter. So it's a 1/4. On attack, you may deal 1 damage to a space unit. So yeah, you're not doing a whole lot of damage unless you upgrade this. But also just being able to ping whatever space units you want is extremely valuable. Spread a little damage around. Make some deals with other people saying, oh, I can take care of that shield on that one shielded space unit. I think that this one is better than it looks on first blush. I mean, Blue Leader, on the other hand, we all know Blue Leader's great. It's either a 3/3 for 3 space ambush or a 5/5 for 5 ground ambush. Either way, it's good. It gives you so much flexibility to deal with threats in whichever arena you want. It's just so good. Oh, the Falcon piece of junk. Again, this is one of those, like, you're expected to run 3 copies of this in non-Twin Suns formats. I don't have any copies of this card, but the amount of times that I have played against people that use this card is enough to convince me that, yeah, a 3/4 that enters play ready is just incredible. And again, this can be used to close out the last turn of the game where everyone else, they've all taken their turns. Somebody is just about at death's door. And then you're just like, oh, and here comes the Falcon. It's ready. I guess I'll hit you and kill you and win the game. Yeah, it's just a really good card. That's why it's still holding its value. One day, my sweet baby, I'll have one of you. Red 5, Running the Trench. Got plenty of these, though. So it's also a 3/4 for 3. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. There's going to be damaged units. Damaged units abound in this format. So you can just get a little bit more damage on things, probably kill some stuff. Great card where there's going to be lots of things on the table. Red 3, Unstoppable. It's got raid 1. It gives all your heroism units raid 1. What more can you ask for? It just makes everything on the table better. If you have this and the previously mentioned Yularen, you get a bigger butt and raid 1. Oh yeah. Sabine's Masterpiece. I mean, you just put this in anything. You put this in anything and it's good. Like, it just gives you heals, experience, ping damage, exhausting or running resources. Like, no matter what deck Sabine's Masterpiece is in, it will do something useful. And in Twin Suns, most of the time, we're going to have 3 aspects in our deck. And that gives this so many options for, oh, it can do this, it can do this, it can do this. And people are just going to want to kill it. But you'll have it. It'll be awesome. So as long as it's not, as long as somebody doesn't kill it instantly, like, you should be able to get a lot of value out of this. Kit Fisto's Aether Sprite. So yeah, of course, people are using this against Kylo because, you know, Kylo gets upgrades on him and is a general pain. This also kills pilot leaders instantly. It gets rid of, like I said, a general's blade on a Gunji. Feeling like I've got some trauma around General's Blade on a Gunji. But the fact that you get any amount of upgrades on one unit can go away. That means maybe someone's got an Axe Woves that got really problematic. Maybe someone's just got a whole bunch of shields on something. And did I mention it's a Saboteur? Like, their Bright Hope's not going to matter. I think Kit Fisto's Aether Sprite is great. Like, as close to an auto include as things get in Red Heroism. Redemption. Oh, come on. You should be running Redemption in a blue hero deck. Oh my gosh. Heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units and or bases and deal that much damage to Redemption. Of course, if you're going to be real sneaky, you could play it with the JTL Lando leader and bring it in with a shield to then take 8 damage away from your base and ping its own shield off. And the fact that it's a big butt Sentinel, it's no slouch either. Like, this is, you run this. This card always in a hero vigilance deck. Yes. Smuggler's Aid. It just messes up the math at the end of the game. Heal 3 damage from your base for 1 or for 3 with Smuggle. I think it's good either way. This can hang out in your resources, and when everybody is thinking, oh, you've got this much on your base, you've got this much, well, then you're like, oh, Smuggler's Aid. It's a restore that no one sees coming. Spare the target. Return an enemy non-leader unit to its owner's hand. Collect that unit's bounties. So it's, it's basically Waylay for guys that aren't yours, with the added bonus of you can get a bounty if one is on there. I love this card. Just being able to have this and Waylay in a deck so you can get 2 almost the same thing card in a singleton format is really useful. And maybe you're playing with someone that's using Jabba or Bosk or something like that. And just on the off chance that someone is running a bounty deck, this gets a little bit stronger. But being able to get rid of something problematic, if it had upgrades on it, those are going away. It's a great card for 3. I think it's, again, this is like as close to an auto include as it gets. U-Wing Reinforcement. What a great card. This is a great late game card, obviously. Search the top 10 cards of your deck. It's a massive filter for up to 3 units with combined cost 7 or less, and play each of them for free. That does ignore aspect. So, in a deck like a Qui-Gon deck, this can be even more powerful. But also, just being able to search through that many cards and get a unit on the board is incredibly useful. It can get you a late game Sentinel. It's such a good flexible card, giving you like a nice deep dig through a substantial portion of your deck. So yeah, like Green Hero, run this card. You will not be disappointed. Okay, and we're about halfway through, y'all. Hope you're still with me, because I think these ones are the creme de la creme. You can put these in pretty much any Twin Suns deck that the aspects support, and you're going to do fine with them. Hondo is at least kind of a neutralish character. But yeah, like I said, these don't have anything to do with the cards in here. So what do we got? We got Curious Flock. Okay, so why is Curious Flock in here? It's a 1/1 for 1, right? When played, pay up to 6 for each resource paid this way. Give an experience token to this unit. So this means that Curious Flock is pretty much good any turn that you play it. If you want a 7/7 for 7, then you can get it. If you want just a 3/3 for 3, you can get it. It gives you fodder in a Finn deck. It gives you something for the shuttle ST-149 to transfer around. It's just a good, flexible sort of card. It's as big as you need it to be. So pretty much anytime you need to play it, it's going to be great. Moisture Farmer, oh my gosh. It's a 1-cost 0/4 with Restore 2. I love the Moisture Farmer. It's one of those cards that immediately attracts attention, that makes people focus on it, because Restore 2 is such a good amount of restore. Oh my goodness. And it being a 4-size butt means it's going to be hard for someone to actually kill it. Also, do y'all see there's a gonk droid in the back? I think that's it's pretty good. If anybody's been paying attention to the spoilers, I'm real excited about having gonk droids in here, because for sure that's going to be on the list. Honestly, it should just be on the list of staples now, but the card's not actually out yet. Village Tender, it is a 1/3 for 1 that has hidden. It has Restore 1. It's just going to kind of generally be a pain for people to deal with, because you can't instantly swing into it. And getting a little bit of restore here and there is just kind of obnoxious. I think this is such an underrated card. It's almost free for you, but makes people have to deal with it, because nobody's going to want you restoring every single round. Crafty Smuggler, it's a 2/2 for 2 with a shield. It's basic, but I think that it is well worth it. Anytime you can just get a shield on something for free, essentially, it's going to do a good bit of work for you. You can crash it into something. You can stack more upgrades on it, and people will have a harder time dealing with it. Like, this does a lot for a 2-cost unit. It's an excellent first turn play. DRK1 Probe Droid. When played, you may defeat a non-unique upgrade. That's a lot of things. This thing gets rid of hotshot blasters. This thing gets rid of traitorous. This thing gets rid of experience and shields. It's just so good in Twin Suns. Oh my goodness. Lothcat. When played and when defeated, you may exhaust a ground unit. That includes a leader. This thing can shut down so much. If you're able to ambush it in, say you were playing this in a Fennec deck, you can exhaust 2 things because it's gonna die when it ambushes into something. It's only got 1 health. I love this card. It is so good in pretty much any cunning deck. Mas Ameda from Twilight. The only double icon card on this list. I still think it's worth it. If you get him out early, when you play another unit, you may exhaust this unit. If you do, search the top 4 cards of your deck for a unit, reveal it, and draw it. It's just free card draw for doing what you're already doing. So he's an awesome deck filtration card. I think he's really good. Paying the aspect tax for him kind of stinks. But if you are able to make it work, I think Masameta is one of the most valuable cards in Twin Suns because of the amount of card draw, the amount of deck filtration that he gets you. Seasoned Fleet Admiral. This is my number one. This is my number one auto include card in Twin Suns. If you have a green deck, if you are running command, you put this card in your deck. This is the most auto include card. I cannot say this enough. It's a 1/4 for 2 with raid 1. When an opponent draws 1 or more cards during the action phase, you may give an experience token to a unit. That means when somebody takes the plan token that isn't you, you get a free experience because plan makes someone draw. Free experience every single round. Free experience every round. If you get this guy out on turn 1, you give that experience to the Seasoned Fleet Admiral. That means you've got a 2/5 with raid 1. That is such a good first turn play. I love this card so much. Put this card in every single Twin Suns deck with command in it until the end of time. So good. Like, just trust me on this. Cobb Vanth. So Cobb Vanth not only swings for a decent bit, but his when defeated effect is such a good ability in this format. Search the top 10 cards of your deck for a unit that costs 2 or less and discard it. For this phase, you may play that card from your discard pile for free. So if you swing into someone, he dies. Maybe you killed somebody else's unit, then you get your own unit later on that you got to search through and say, okay, this is the best one for this particular circumstance. One of the best cards you can put in a Twin Suns deck, I think, if you're running green. Hu Yang. Gosh, Hu Yang is so good. He just makes something else stronger. Screws up the math for everyone. Focuses people's attention on Hu Yang because they don't want your unit to get the buff. And when attention is focused on a unit, that means attention is not focused on a base. I love it. I think Hu Yang is great. I love also if you are able to return him to your hand and play him again, then you can put that bonus on something else. ATDP Occupier costs 1 less to play for each damaged ground unit. A lot of things are going to have damage. There's a very real possibility you can play this card for free in this format, which is just the best. There's a lot of leaders that do ping damage. So yeah, this isn't like, if you're paying 4 for it, yeah, it's not that great. But if you can get it out for 2 or for 1 or for nothing, then heck yeah. And of course, being that it has Overwhelm, it's just aching for you to stick a pilot on there and make it extra good. It's Cody. Cody's got Overwhelm and his Coordinate ability. Each other friendly unit gains +1/+1 and Overwhelm. Oh my gosh, y'all. Like, like Cody turns a Vader, a pilot Vader deck into something to be feared. Cody turns a droid token deck into something obnoxious. Anytime you are doing go wide, you want Cody. That's anytime you've got a lot of small, cheap units, you put Cody in there. You're making an IG deck, you put Cody in there. He's not good in everything, but if you're playing a lot of cheap stuff, you put Cody in there. He is so good. Ki-Adi-Mundi. Okay, coordinate. When an opponent plays their second card each phase, you may draw 2 cards. That's a lot of cards. I don't know what it is about Ki-Adi-Mundi and card draw, but he enables it so much. And if you can get him out around a time when your opponents are all possibly playing multiple cards, you can get so much card draw every single round. That is just ridiculous. I think this card is amazing in this format. I feel like the price of this card has gone down a lot since he was in Twilight, because I don't think anyone uses him in Premiere. Actually, let's just check here. Let's see what Ki-Adi. Okay, so $10. It's still okay. It's a decent amount, but if you're only getting one of them, then so be it. Anyway, he's awesome. If you got Ki-Adi-Mundi, I think he is probably pretty close to an auto include in a blue deck. The Mandalorian Weathered Pilot. Okay, so it's steep if you got to pay the aspect tax, but you can either exhaust up to 2 ground units when you play him as a unit. It's even worth it at 7 because that can include leaders, dudes with lots of upgrades on them, like all kinds of stuff. Or when played as an upgrade for only 2, exhaust an enemy unit in this arena. So you get a good amount of flexibility. He's a pretty decent stat line for his cost. There's a lot of good stuff going on with the Mandalorian pilot card. Love it. Love it. It's so good. Anakin, of course, Anakin. Everybody and their mother is running Anakin. I think Anakin is going to be good in Twin Suns also pretty much forever. If you have Anakin, you put him in a blue deck. You're going to get at least one of his one-played bonuses. Maybe you can finagle it to get 2 of them, especially if you're playing a Chancellor Palpatine deck or you're playing a deck that lets you discard stuff or whatever. There's lots of different ways that you can try to get double the bonus, but at least being able to reliably debuff something when he comes out. And then you get a Force Jedi Republic unit, and you've got his little I'm figure skating, oh my gosh, look at me picture. There's this card's awesome. Cargo Juggernaut or Cargo Juggernaut, because I feel like it's more fun to pronounce it like that. This is one of those cards I feel like is super underrated. It's a 4/6 with a shield for 6 resources. And if you control another vigilance unit, heal 4 damage from your base when played. That is a huge difference at that stage of the game. This is great for you to stick a pilot leader on. It's just kind of a big chonkus with a shield. It's great for a lot of things. Yeah, in Premiere it's not great, but I think in Twin Suns this is still a good card to play later on when it's going to start making a difference. I got to throw in a very brief pause. I will be right back. And we're back. Okay. I mean, to you, the viewer, it was instantaneous. Anyway, we were talking about the Cargo Juggernaut and how great I think it is. And then we're going to talk about the War Juggernaut and how great I think it is. This one, you can just ping a whole bunch of stuff. You can get rid of shields. You can kill puny little units. And it just becomes a giant threat. So cool. Oh my gosh. It's another one of those cards that people are just going to be like, oh my gosh, we have to deal with something. We got to deal with this War Juggernaut. Such a great card as the top end in pretty much any Twin Suns deck that runs aggression. Orsing Crackpot Sniper, another one of those cards that I think is not good in any format other than Twin Suns, but in Twin Suns, 7/6 Overwhelm. When an enemy ground unit attacks your base, ready this unit. So she's coming out at a time in the game when people are really going to want to put damage on base. So she disincentivizes people attacking your base. But around 7 resource time, people need to be putting damage on bases. So, like, it puts you in a very good place to not get attacked. Of course, she can't do anything about space, but, you know, nobody's perfect. Anyway, I think she's very good. I wouldn't say an auto include, but I do think that in many, many circumstances, she is going to be fantastic to have as top end in any red deck. Okay, disabling Fang Fighter. When played, defeat an upgrade. Great. That kills pilots, that kills shields, it kills guns, it kills so many things. Like, this is a great card to have in your hand. If you see this in your opening hand, you keep it there and say, okay, well, I might not need it now, but I'll probably need it at some point. And it gets you a unit in addition to getting rid of an upgrade. So all kinds of good things. Sanctioner Shuttle. Coordinate. When played, it captures an enemy non-leader unit that costs 3 or less, which is just fantastic. Y'all know at this point how much I love capture. Being able to capture small units in Twin Suns is so good because, again, capture doesn't care about upgrades that are on there. In this case, this one just says enemy non-leader unit that costs 3 or less. So whatever that is, that could be an Axe Woves with a stack of upgrades. Boom, Sanctioner Shuttle, got him. This one doesn't care about arena either, which I think is real nice. Geonosis Patrol Fighter. It's got the exploit, so hopefully you're not going to pay 5 for it, and hopefully you can get rid of some cheap early game unit to help pay for it. When played, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand, so it's just good at getting rid of something that's problematic and getting you a unit at the same time. Love this card. Confiscate defeats an upgrade. Just boom, pay 1, defeat an upgrade. I think that this was going to always be pretty much in any Twin Suns deck forever. Just to have the ability to get rid of an upgrade, even a pilot. So good. Covert Strength, heal 2 damage from a unit and give an experience token to it. You can either play for 1 out of your hand or 3 as a smuggle card. Really good. I've been saying this for the longest time. This should just be an auto include in any blue deck. It's just, it's so useful being able to make a unit back, heal 2 damage and get an experience. There's plenty of decks that care about experience. There's plenty of decks that you might want to move experience around, and it's just a great card. It's just such a good card. Diversion. Give a unit Sentinel for this phase. Sentinel, Sentinel, Sentinel. You'll know how I feel about Sentinels. This one means you can use this on your opponent's stuff. You can use it on your stuff. There's just so many different ways that this card can be applied. It's cheap enough that you can just kind of hang on and use it whenever it seems good. Recruit. It's another deck filtration. It gets you a unit. It helps you find the card that you need out of that 80 card pile that you have. Timely intervention, just giving something ambush is so useful. We've seen time and time again how useful ambush is in this game. So whether you're ambushing out that Vader unit that kills things that have shields, or you're ambushing out a Rose that is turning a shield into experience, or what have you, being able to give something ambush can win games. It's just so, so, so good. Asteroid Sanctuary. Exhaust an enemy unit. Give a shield token to a friendly unit that costs 3 or less. Great. So shut something down and then give one of your guys a shield. This card is so good. Force Illusion. Exhaust an enemy unit. A friendly unit gains Sentinel for this phase. So sort of like Diversion, but a little bit more restrictive. But I think this one also does the multitasking of, okay, yeah, you get a Sentinel and you shut something else down. Incredibly useful. Grenade Strike. Deal 2 damage to a unit. You may deal 1 damage to another unit in the same arena. So we're playing with 4 players total. Then Grenade Strike lets us put a little bit of damage in a couple of different spots. I think it's a very useful card for 2. Prepare for Takeoff. Another extremely useful card. It just lets you filter your deck. You pay 2. You search through 8 cards, and you can draw up to 2 vehicles. If you're running a vehicle heavy deck, it's even more useful. I'd say this isn't as generically useful as recruit, but in decks that do a lot of vehicles, yeah, you want this. You want this all the time. Shoot down, deal 3 damage to a space unit. If that unit is defeated this way, you may deal 2 damage to a base. This is a great little 2-for-1 if you can make it work. 3 damage is often enough to kill a space unit. So yeah, I think Shoot Down is one of those cards from JTL that should definitely be used again and again and again in Twin Suns. Sneak Attack, what have I been saying for the last hour and change? Ready units win Twin Suns games. Sneak Attack gets you a ready unit. Of course, it's gone at the start of the regroup phase, but if you're playing this at the end of the game when everybody is butting heads over trying to be the first one to knock somebody out, Sneak Attack can give you that advantage. Disruptive Burst. Oh my gosh. I think every blue deck I put this in. I love Disruptive Burst so much. Give each enemy unit -1/-1 for this phase. It softens everything up. It makes everything that much easier to kill. It makes things less resistant to ping damage. It makes things easier to capture if you're using capture cards that care about health or attack power. It can throw off the math if someone has like a Chirrut Sentinel out. It's just, there's so much that this card can do for you. I love it so much. And it doesn't affect your guys. Heck yeah. Relentless Pursuit. It's another capture card. This one only cares about cost. It doesn't care about arena. And if a bounty hunter unit is the one doing the capturing, you get a shield. So yeah, of course, you want to use this more with bounty hunter decks, but I think it's still a good deck. It's still a good card for a yellow deck. Even if you're not running bounty hunters, you're still getting rid of something on the board. You're still getting rid of its upgrades. I will continue to die in that hill of capture in Twin Suns is great. Take Captive. A friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader unit in the same arena. I love that all the capture cards have slightly different restrictions on what they are, whether it's cost, whether it's power, whether it's what arena it's in. I love that this one can just get rid of a crate dragon. I don't know why that's my go-to example with it, but I just think the idea of like a Jawa capturing a crate dragon is just too good. But yeah, it's like in a format where you have less consistent removal, adding capture into your decks is going to make it easier to control what's going on the board. By the same token, Waylay, return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand, gets rid of something on the board, an auto-include in every Cunning deck forever. Fell the Dragon, defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. Again, such a good staple removal card. Takedown, defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. So either of these gets you sort of options depending on what sort of board state you're facing. Both extremely good cards to have. It's really tempting to say just put every removal card into your blue deck, but you can't really go wrong by doing that. Bravado. If you've defeated an enemy unit this phase, this event costs 2 less to play, so 3. Ready a unit. This is fantastic. Again, it's a way of just saying, oh, you didn't think I was going to be able to attack? Well, think again. Here it comes. And maybe you're playing this in a Grand Inquisitor deck. You ready Grand Inquisitor, attack with him again, and then ready something else. Like, there's so many fun ways to make this into like a fun combo card when you're nearing the end of the game. Commandeer, take control of a non-leader vehicle unit that costs 6 or less without a pilot on it. If you do ready it at the start of the next regroup phase, return that unit to its owner's hand. So not only do you get to ready something and immediately use it on a subsequent turn, but also it'll go back to somebody's hand. So this is like kind of like a 2-for-1, maybe even a 3-for-1, because they don't get to use it that turn. You do. You could exploit it if you really want to, and then it goes back to their hand anyway, so it gets removed too. I love this card so much. Obviously, it's doesn't work on anything other than vehicles, but pretty much everybody runs at least a few vehicles in a Twin Suns deck. Like, you're going to get completely run over in space if you don't. And I think Commandeer is so good for later on in the game. Maybe someone plays a Ruthless Raider. Maybe somebody plays, I don't know, an Invisible Hand. You'll get to search your deck for a droid if you attack with that Invisible Hand. There's just so many ways that this can screw things up in the late game and turn the tide in your favor. Out the airlock, bam, it's another removal card that even if it doesn't outright kill something, it's going to make it so impotent for the phase that it can easily be picked off by someone else swinging into it. It can just nullify what somebody's plans are going to be. Yeah, it's expensive, but I think it is well worth it. Change of Heart. Ugh. You're just like, just give me that. I love the gimme that cards in Twin Suns because they shift the balance of power so much in the late game. Being able to take someone's things is just such a, oh, geez, I didn't see that coming. I was hedging my bets and being able to play this big, powerful thing, and now someone else took it. It's just such a great tactic to use in this format when somebody is betting so hard that they're going to be able to get this one unit to win the game for them. We got Rivals Fall. Just pay 6 to feed a unit. Any unit dies to Rivals Fall. You put this in your blue decks, you're always going to be happy. Choose sides. Man, I love this card so much. Choose a friendly non-leader unit and an enemy non-leader unit. Exchange control of those units. You give somebody a droid token. You take their Luke Skywalker. It's so great. It's such a power move for you to play something teeny tiny on the 6 resource turn. Somebody else plays something big. You take the initiative, 7 resource turn. You're like, bam, choose sides. I'll take your biggie. And it completely changes what everyone is doing at the table. Such a great card. Okay, and we got a few more upgrades in here. We got the Hot Shot Blaster. Come on, you play yellow, you put this in. It's so good. I love that people have been putting this in just regular red decks, but honestly, I look at this more as a yellow card. It gets you that instant attack. If you're playing like the Mandalorian, you can get the Shutdown. If you're playing Gar Saxon, you get the buff. There's like so many ways that this card is good, but just getting an instant buff and attack, just excellent. Entrenched. Attached unit can't attack bases. It shuts something down. If you are low on things in a particular arena, you play this on somebody's thing in the other in the arena that you don't have stuff in. It's not going to be able to hit your base. It's just going to swing into other people's stuff. Or you can just put it on your own guys. You can put it on a big Sentinel. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. This should always be in any blue deck, no matter what. Legal Authority is just one of my favorite cards in this game. Legal Authority goes in every green deck, attached to a friendly unit. When played, attached unit captures an enemy non-leader unit with less power than it. And it gives you a bigger butt to boot. It's just the best. It gets rid of something, doesn't care about the arena, makes you stronger. So many good things. And Perilous Position, it just says this is a -2/-2 and it's exhausted. It shuts down a unit for a phase. It makes it weaker. It's so, so good. Okay, we're at the end of the list. What cards do you think I should have included in here? And before people at me, yeah, I totally forgot. Yes, of course. Yes, we should have Surprise Strike in here. Okay, y'all got me. Yes, Surprise Strike should be in the list, and Breaking In should be in the list. Like, these are great cards that let you get a little bit of extra damage. People aren't necessarily going to see it coming. Breaking In doesn't give you quite as much, but it does give you Saboteur. So with the exception of those two, what other cards should be in this list? What are your staple cards? Again, my discussion with Flowery Spoon on the Nightsisters Discord is going to be real interesting after this video comes out. I'm looking forward to seeing what she had in her list, what she considers to be the staple cards. I had a lot of fun thinking about this because I was realizing how many of these cards I talk about in all of these videos. As someone that doesn't really care about Surprise Strike as much. I mean, yeah, I know it's a very good card, but I think it's interesting that like, oh yeah, like of course I didn't think about putting that in a deck right away. But you can see like a lot of my pet cards in this list. So I'd be interested to hear other people's thoughts on what's good, what's not. And then, yeah, look forward to a video on table disruption in Twin Suns pretty soon. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I've already got the list made for that. And then I've also been doing some brewing. I've got a double Ahsoka Twin Suns deck that I've been testing a lot, and it's been doing pretty good. So I'm excited to share that one with y'all too. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. So yeah, until I get all those other videos done, I think we should just do this again sometime.